Here's 2 key principles to help you spin the ball better and in the right direction for each pitch that you throw. The first thing you have to understand is the more points of contact we have on the ball, the slower it will spin. That's why changeups are thrown with fingers on the top and the sides and the bottom of the ball, typically to make the ball spin slower. 4-seam fastballs, 2-seam fastballs, they're usually thrown with fingers together, fingers on the bottom, less points of contact on the sides of the ball to spin it a little harder. Breaking balls the same way, fingers together and thrown like that. The second principle you need to know is the more supinated your wrist is at release, typically the harder the ball will spin. So the more my fingers and hand get to the inside of the ball, the slower it will spin. The more my fingers and hand are on the outside of the ball as I'm throwing it, and imagine the ball's going this way, as I'm throwing it, the more my fingers or hand on the outside, the harder it will spin. And it's important to understand this when we are looking at spin rates and looking at how much the ball's moving, that the more our hand moves to the outside of the ball, typically the harder the ball will spin. Now, something people really mess up is when they try to move their hand to the outside part of the ball, they do it late and they try to snap their wrist or rotate their wrist in that way. This is a big no-no. Try to stay away from rotating your wrist like you're turning the doorknob. We want to set our wrist angle as we're coming through before release. Set your wrist angle and hold it. Keep good wrist integrity and let the ball, on breaking balls specifically, that you're trying to spin hard, let the ball come over the fingers like this. Do not turn your wrist into release this way. The wrist will always end up pronating through each pitch you throw. But the more supination you can have before that pronation will aid the ball in spinning harder and moving more.